In this Blender 3.4 tutorial, I will show you how to set up the video editor and then save the settings for future use, as well as edit a sequence of video clips. Other tutorials can be found in my playlists. Okay, well, the first time you open up Blender on your computer, you'll see this banner here. And to go into the video editor, you simply select video editing. Now, the Blender video editor is a little bit of a difficult thing to learn initially. Once you've sort of set yourself up and you learn a few tricks, it's very simple to use. But like I said, you may have to sort of practice a bit before you get used to using the editor. So the default settings that come in with Blender is 1920 by 1080. These are the sort of sizes, top and bottom, or the aspect ratio. Now this is fine for HD video. So if you're using HD video, don't change these. Make sure that this percentage here is set at 100%. Now, coming down to the frame rate, I will point one thing out with Blender. If you're using different videos, different frame rates, different aspect ratios, or one video's, I don't know, 4K and another one's HD, I would avoid Blender. Blender is very good if you're using the same videos, i.e. I use a particular camera, so everything I bring into Blender, if I was to edit with Blender, would be the same format, same frame rate. So just bear in mind, if you're nicking other people's videos, you may end up with problems. Okay, so like I said, this is the setting for HD. Make sure this is at 100%. And because I know the frame rate of my camera, I'm also going to change this from 24 frames per second to 25. Now, Blender usually picks up the frame rate when you bring your video in, but like I said, because I tend to use only one thing, my camera, I can afford to change this here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change these settings because my camera is 4K UHD. I want to change this. So I'm going to use this box here where it says format presets. And this says here 4K UHD TV 2160p. And I'm going to select this. And straight away it's already changed the frame rate, so I need to change this back to 25. Now in this box you can change the view size by using your middle mouse, so just roll your middle mouse till you get a good view of the video monitor. So we changed the sizes, the frame rate, and now down to this section here. Blender by default always comes up with 25 frames of render. So you're going to render from 250. Now at 25 frames a second, this will only give me 10 seconds. So what I would do here, and it doesn't matter because you're going to change this at the end, I would put in a ludicrous figure. So in this instance, I'm going to type in 100,000. Then I'm going to hit return. And this should give me enough to play with. You can put anything in here because all you'll do is just change the end when you're finished doing all your editing. So you set your frame rate up. You set up the aspect ratio of your video. Like I said, you can type in what you want up here if you want to do it manually. Set this up to 100%. The end is 100,000. And now you need to set the video editor up. This is the Blender editor rather than the video editor. So with your pointer in this screen here, just press N on your keyboard and select View. Now you'll probably find the Prefetch frames is already selected. If it's not, just select this. Now the next thing you need to think about is, I don't need to use proxies with my computer. It's pretty powerful. But if you've got a slow computer, I would select use proxies and then change this 100% here down to, I don't know, something like 25%. Now a proxy is a copy of the original video. So you're sort of editing the proxy, and then when you're finished and you render the video, you won't render the proxy unless you set it up. You'll actually render the full quality of the video. So that's a couple of things you can play around with. It's entirely up to you. So we'll just close this down by pressing N again. And the only other thing, I would select this little magnet here where it says use snapping. Okay. So because I will be using this setup anytime I use Blender, rather than changing it all again, I'm going to just come up to File here, and then where it says Defaults, I'm going to just select Save Start Up File. Now if you want to go back to the default settings, you can use these here. Load factory Blender setting, that will change everything to the right. And also you can change this video editing setting, that will change everything in the middle. But I'm just going to select Save Start Up File and then select it again. And that will mean every time you go into the video editor, it will bring up your settings here, and you won't have to reset it up every time. It'll also bring these settings up as well automatically. Okay. So bringing a video into Blender is, well, you've got a few options. You can navigate here and literally muck around till you find your videos and then drag them in to the timeline. You can also add them by going into add here and then select video and navigate to your video. I'm quite lazy. I always use a file browser with any video editor and literally select the video I want, which will be, when I can find them. Okay. This one here, say. And I'll just drag this into the timeline. And wait till this finishes rendering the proxy. Okay. Now in this screen here, you can use your middle mouse by rolling it so that you get a better sort of view. You can also hold your middle mouse down and move this. So rolling your middle mouse reduces the size or increases it, and then holding your middle mouse down, you can drag your screen over. Now because this is selected, all I need to do here is just hold down my left mouse and it will snap it up to this marker here. You've got a few options. You can either press play here, or you can use your space bar to play the video and stop it. Or you can, because hopefully your proxies are working fine, you can very quickly scan through a video like this. So I don't know, let me just rush this editing here. So if I start this video here, I want to trim it here. I wouldn't cut the videos. I would always just snap the ends up in any video editor, because what that means is you haven't lost the section. You can always drag it back out. So if I select this edge here, hold down shift and select this edge here, the green is audio, blue's video. Now if I hold down shift followed by S, this will snap the clip to this marker here, this timeline point. Obviously I don't want to be rendering from this point here, so I need to move this clip back to the start. And to do that, I first need to get this timeline marker back to the beginning. And to do that, I'm going to just press page down. No, I'm not. Sorry, that's wrong. That's how you scan to with the ends. Forget that. What I need to do is hold down shift plus my left arrow button. Now to bring this clip back in line with this marker, if you hold down your left mouse button, box select both the audio and video, and then hold down Shift S. That will bring this video back to the point where you started, or back to the beginning line. So I'm going to very quickly, I'm not going to play these, I'm going to just drag this over to a point where I want to finish the video. So that'll do there. And again, I'm going to hold down, I'm going to select the end here, hold down shift and select the end of the audio, and then Shift S, and that'll trim this down. Grab another video. This one here. So I'm going to grab this one, bring it into the timeline, wait for it to finish rendering the proxy, then grab it so it snaps up here. And then trim this one by selecting the ends and holding down shift, make sure both ends are selected. Shift S. I want to bring this marker back to here, although it doesn't matter in this instance. I can just snap this up to the end of the video. But I will show you how to snap back if you want to the next point. So I don't know, let's finish this one here. So I'm going to select this end, hold down shift, select this end, Shift S, and that brings me back to this point here. Okay, I'll do one more. This one here, drag it in, wait for it to finish rendering the proxy. And I'll just roll my middle mouse so I got a better view. Drag this over. Make sure this is, both these are selected, and I'll drag it into this timeline here and snap it up. Okay. And again, I'm going to grab this, I don't know, to this point here. Select the ends by holding down shift, then Shift S, and I want to bring this marker back to here, say, and to do that you just hold down, you don't hold down anything actually, you just press page down and then select this one here and then Shift S, and that brings me back to this part here. And again, we'll just drag this through rather than playing it, finish about there. Select these ends here, Shift S, and that finishes the point where I want to finish. So I'm going to just render out these clips here. So obviously, because I've set this up for a rather large video at 100,000 frames. I don't need to do that. So all I need to do is just check where the end is. Now the end, you can see the end down here. It says 845. You should be able to see it. No, it's not showing it up here. I used to in the older ones. So you're looking for the end frame here, 845. But I'm going to just snap this back one frame by using my left arrow. So I want to make sure I don't end up with any rubbish at the end. So we're on 844. So you can either change this here or here. So I'm going to just change this to 844 and hit return. So this will now render from frame 1 to frame 844. Obviously, when you reopen your video editor, it will open up at 100,000 frames again. So we're almost ready to go. If you roll your mouse in this section here, you should see something called output. I'll just open it up here. Now you need to find somewhere to send your video to. So next to TMP, select the folder and decide where you're going to save your video. So we'll save this on, I don't know, for ease, let's bung it into videos. And just here, I'm going to give this a title. So I don't know, let's call it ducks, because that's what it is. And select accept. Now here you'll see something called encoding. And this is where you can change your video codecs. So for instance, where it says H.264, you can select this and change your codecs here, or you can actually change your container up here and select QuickTime. So with QuickTime, I'd leave it as H.264. Now the output quality, I would change from medium quality to high quality. No point in having a 4K camera and go for rubbish quality. And then you've got audio. I'd leave the audio as default AAC, but you can also select no audio if you want. And that is set everything up. Now you're good to go. Top of the screen, you'll see something called render. Select this and make sure you select render animation. If you select render image, you'll have no audio and you'll have 844 or more images. So make sure you select render animation. And you should find that your video will start rendering. I'll come back to this when it's finished rendering. Once your video's finished rendering, you'll see the last frame rate or last frame up here. You can just close this down. Now the only other thing I will show you before I finish this tutorial is the way I cut the videos. And the reason I do it this way is if I was to, I don't know, let's just drag this clip here, I don't know, over it a bit. Obviously I'd need to change the end. Because I haven't physically cut the clip, I can actually, let's bring this over to this point here. I can actually drag the end over. And because I haven't physically cut it, I can change the position I want to save, to change the video to. So anyway, that's all there is to it really. if you practice and set up your settings at the beginning, you will eventually get round to finding that this is quite an easy editor to use. And hopefully you'll end up with a decent video with audio. Hopefully that's helped someone. Thank you for watching. Cheers.